Hi folks, it's great to be reviewing chapter 9 of Scattered Servants today. The chapter is called Kingdom Carriers Who Steward the Supernatural. So we're just going to chat about some of what we have found helpful from this chapter and encourage you to read it.
I like it because it's scratching where we're itching. It's answering the question, why do we not see sustained supernatural outbreak in our time? Sometimes we get moments of outbreak, but often we're not seeing sustained, consistent outbreaking of the kingdom in our daily lives.
I think that sustained breakthrough is something that we've been talking about quite a lot recently, and it's something that really resonates with us because we really want to see God's kingdom coming and happening all the time.
And it reflects as well on the meditation you put up on Jeremiah about moving from visitation to dwelling.
Yeah.
So the headlines in this chapter are that this chapter actually answers some of those questions about how you move from those moments of visitation into a moment of actually seeing life being shaped by the outbreak of the supernatural all of the time. The main headline is about stewardship, which is really interesting because so many times it comes back to intentionally understanding what we're doing in our lives. And in this chapter, Alan talks about stewarding what we've already been given. He uses the parable of the talents from Luke to build a basis of that, and I think it's a really helpful comment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that whole sort of thing, Jesus brought the teaching that you have been given something, so make sure that you use it. And that it's also a really key part of understanding our identity, which is one of the things obviously that we major on quite a lot. Part of our identity is that we are creators, that we are made in the image of God, that we carry the Holy Spirit, that we carry the kingdom. And that's really important. Practically, one of the things that he illustrates and demonstrates in the chapter is that sharing stories is so important, and he finishes it by talking about a situation, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, so you've got to read the chapter, talking about a situation whereby there was one particular amazing miracle that you've got to read about, one particular amazing miracle where God really met with an individual, brought healing in various different ways. And as that story was shared, many others experienced the same healing. So one of the really practical ways of stewarding what God has done for us and what God has given to us is to share those stories, to recognize what God is doing and being willing to share those with other people.
The other key thing in this chapter, apart from learning how to share stories and using sharing stories as a builder of faith, is also learning to recognize what we have been given and learning to build with that. We don't get necessarily a huge miraculous miracle at the very beginning. What we have to learn to do is to be faithful with what we've got and begin to build it from one step up to the next, the next, the next. And I think one of the challenges that we have is to treasure what we have, to treasure what we've been given. As part of City Church Sunday, we've seen people with their eyes opened. We've seen all sorts of miracles. We've had healings. We've had legs straightened. We've seen people have words of knowledge for people in all sorts of places. And one of the things that we need to learn to do is treasure what we've been given, remember what we've been given, and build on that and use it as a launch pad to move us into the next season. So I hope that you are excited and challenged by this book. I hope it's shaping the way you think about what you're doing in your neighbourhood, in your streets, in your workplace. And we'll look forward to seeing where we're going next, and also looking forward to hearing your stories. Please let us have your stories. Stories are so powerful. And it talks in the Bible about the fact that we overcome by our testimony. Testimony is important. Please let us have your stories. Thanks, guys. Good to see you. Bye.